And here's Lee Glover, the man who Brian Clough selected ahead of Nigel Jemson today. Nigel Clough, a good pass forward, and they're on the move again with Wone. This is now time being added on for stoppages, and there's Brian Laws, the substitute. It opened up for him, but he shot wide. Nice for Brian Laws. I remember at Old Trafford, you know, 2 years ago in that replayed semi-final against Liverpool, he had the misfortune to put the ball in his own goal and send Liverpool to Wembley. But today, a very different scene for Nottingham Forest. And for those players who've been involved, like Brian Clough, in 2 losing semi-finals in the last 3 years, the tide has turned for them. And surely nobody with a heart in football would begrudge them that.
No, he must go down as one of the great managers, Brian Clough. He's running off now. He reckons he's done his job. He's motivated the players, he's got them to play really marvellous football, and they're at Wembley. Well played.
The man of the moment has left the arena. And how typical that he should do something other managers perhaps wouldn't do, because the final whistle has gone. And Nottingham Forest are through to Wembley to play Tottenham Hotspur in the FA Cup final of 1991. Billy Bonds congratulates the opposition. Stuart Pearce leads Forest towards their supporters on what for this club is a memorable day. Billy Bonds' team acquitted themselves with dignity in defeat. Reduced to 10 men in the 25th minute. That will be hotly debated over the course of the next few days. But once the second half started, it was Nottingham Forest off the back of the first goal from young Gary Crosby who really went to town. And their supporters enjoyed it. It was 4-0. It could, in all honesty, have been more. So overwhelming was Forest's superiority in the second half. And as the players take the bow and the plaudits and the applause, the manager who came out ahead of his team to sample the atmosphere has disappeared to let them have centre stage. But don't worry about that. What will be written about tomorrow will be that Brian Clough has taken his team to the FA Cup final, and that will be his first experience of that occasion in 35 attempts. There's the goalkeeper who had one anxious moment. I think it's fair to say George Parris' shot deflected against the post in the first half was something of a turning point. But once Crosby had scored, there was no stopping Nottingham Forest. And what a cup final in prospect. You have to lick your lips at the possibilities which are thrown up by Nottingham Forest versus Tottenham Hotspur. 2 teams who play football the way that their managers would say it was meant to be played, on the floor, through the middle of the field to feet. And let's hope they can live up to the occasion when they meet on May the 18th. For the moment, as Stuart Pearce, the great leader, goes to thank the supporters, the score at Villa Park in the FA Cup semi-final is Nottingham Forest 4, West Ham United 0.
Well, no doubt about it in the end, lads, but that early goal in the second half was quite important, Neil, wasn't it?
Yeah, Ray said if they got a goal, they'd get 4. And you were right again, Ray, weren't you? It was Nigel Clough to get over, and I thought he dominated the first half an hour. And they made the extra number count.
It's sad that at the end of it, Forest having played so well in the second half, it will still be people querying, would it have been so clear-cut had it not been for that decision in the first half?
That's right, Bob, and who can tell what the scoreline would have been, but West Ham would certainly have had a better chance. I think if there's one team that you wouldn't like to play against when you're down to 10 men, it would be Nottingham Forest.
Yes.
I think we've got to say as well that Forest exploited the 10 men to one of the best exhibitions I've seen for a long while.
Well, Brian Clough has got there at last, and his son played a big part in that opening goal, scored by Gary Crosby very early on. We can have a look at it here.
Took it ever so over, didn't he? Because it was hard and low down to the goalkeeper.
Roy Keane, who played his part, helping it on, but as you say, it's tight to the legs, isn't it?
Yeah.
There it is in the back of the net, but Cloughie got the space in the second half. where their 10 men couldn't pick him up. And when he's given that time and space, he's a marvellous passer of the ball. He's got a very good footballing brain as well. And he brought other players into the game at the right stage as well.
West Ham had no alternative but to just come out then, did they? They're down tonight to 10 men rather, and then they just got to have a go.
And yet they're still at the post. They still had another good effort. It was a credit to them. The supporters were fantastic, Bob, at the end, wasn't they? In the last 25 minutes, to carry on chanting like they did when they were losing all that, the goals. I thought it was...
You make that point, actually. You're absolutely right, Neil. They did hit the post when it was only 1-0, wasn't it?
That's right.
That time.
Stuart Slater came in. I thought Crossley was a little bit wrongly positioned there, but they got away with it, and good luck to them. It promises to be a great final.
Yes. Roy Keane, we picked him out at the start as being an influence, this young Irish boy, and he certainly proved that again today, didn't he?
He's got a tremendous engine, Bob, and he gets forward from midfield. We see him here picking the ball up. He plays a terrific 1-2 here with Glover, who had a super game, turns, and he's on the end of it again. Good first touch, and drives it low past Ludo in goal.
You likened him to Hodgie, didn't you?
I think he's out of his clone. I think he's a clone of Steve Hodge.
Because he gets in the box so much. He's full of it, isn't he? He just loves the game of football. You can tell he's so fresh.
Stuart Pearce, we always thought he would be a big influence. He wasn't that dominating influence today, but it was very appropriate that the man who's been so inspirational for Forest pops up with a goal.
It was with his good foot as well, wasn't it? It was right foot, wasn't it? But it was a hell of a good throw by Crosby, the old-fashioned long throw. Just a mix-up in the box and laid off, and he came in and followed it in well. The goalkeeper had no chance whatsoever.
I remember Stuart Pearce. I have to say he's come a long, long way. Bobby Gould signed him for Coventry City, and I think I had a meal out that night on him, but he has come a long way. And also, you pointed out the way he's come back from that disappointment of the World Cup missed penalty.